just got off work. Boy, Ray, I'm tired. One day off. 9 days on. One day in the middle. Hard to do anything with studio. Hard to do anything for Garden and Grail. Not going to be able to even do any quality of life things or inspirational things. Not really. Not much anyway. Guess I'm probably just going to end up playing guitar. Cat Quest is still ongoing, but I get off at like 6:30 in the morning, which was lucky because for the last 2 weeks we've been getting out an hour and a half late because we just stopped being functional. I'm talking about my day job. Well, it's a night job. I'm on the graveyard shift. Ordinarily, especially to recover from, like, I'm dealing with an injury and stuff, yeah, I have 2 days off. So I have a little time to have some quality of life and give my leg a chance to recover because my job's pretty physical. But the Cat Quest is still on. It's just that I know my mom's not awake at 6:30 in the morning, and this cat that I'm trying to rescue, this feral cat, he's down there in the front garden at my mom's house. So I'm gonna try and I'm tired, but I'm gonna try and wait it out and go over there and continue to work on my bond with him and get ready to bring him to the vet and bring him down here. I thought, well, I'm gonna kill some time, maybe play some guitar, stuff like that. Well, I need to take my leg brace off. We'll still manage to do some nice cooking, I think, and some bibliomancy and some nice time with some poetry. Get a little quality of life. Not really going to be able to do much as far as, like, hunting inspiration or going places that inspire me, like the garden side of this. It's going to end up happening a little later today. Maybe I'll go take my book of poetry down there and read him poetry and talk to the kitty cat. Man, it's been a long week. I got another week to go after today. Thing is, being on the graveyard shift, by the time I go to sleep, it'll be time to go to work again. I won't really get a time off, so there's not going to be a lot of gardening or grailing to this particular episode. But I'm still going to have a little quality of life, and we're still going to continue the quest for the kitty. That's my goal anyway. Oh. Maybe pin my hair up. Yeah, let's do that. Get my hair pinned up. Yeah, I'm down here at the studio. Gonna try to get some studio time in. I try to get some in every day, whether I work or not. My days off are especially productive days for me. And what I've been doing is, one of my days off, I work really diligently on the studio. And then my other day off, I give myself some quality of life time. Well, I'm having to cram it all in one day. I need to get some studio work done today. But I also need some quality of life and just, relaxation, sleep. But because I only have one day off, I'm going to try to put off sleep so I can get down there and bond more with the cat we're trying to rescue, the quest, for Studio Cat. Yes. Yeah. Chill out, play a little. it's times like this where I deserve a cold beer, probably. I don't drink often. Man, when you're grinding through a hard blue-collar grind and it's interfering with your life, I can see why people ended up being blue-collar and drinking their life away. I'm not one to do stuff like that. But you know, while I wait for my mom to wake up and get a chance to go down and visit the little cat that I'm rescuing, maybe a nice cold beer while I wait would be a good idea. Maybe. We'll see. I don't even have mental energy.
Well, hey folks, it's Speedy here. Obviously, not a lot of content and interesting things in this second episode of Garden and Grail because, as I said in the video, yeah, my whole life and life schedule is upside down where I barely get a break at all from my day job, which is on the graveyard shift. So I tried to get some stuff done and I end up just mostly sleeping. I slept through most of the day and night, um, so I didn't even really get a break. This footage you see here is the most quality of life I got this week for my gardening grail. And considering that the chaos at my work right now is disrupting my life, I'm authentic though, and I want to keep my schedule, and so I put this up regardless of not having much time. And as you can see, I fell asleep during this. But I mean, I put the footage up there anyway. I'm not going to be honest and like make every garden and grail be all like romantic and gardens
Okay,
and
yeah.
fun.
Okay,
And sometimes
not the
life's
best
not fun.
idea.
Mine's not right now.
Quality
I
of
can tell
life,
you that.
yeah. Yeah. I'm too tired. I probably should try to nap first. Afraid we're going through a heat wave. If I nap, it'll end up being like raw. Maybe a little poetry instead. Yeah, that's what I think I'll do. A little bit of reading. I'll be right back. Where's my book? Let me pause this. All right, yeah. I changed my mind. Ugh. I decided I would have a cold after work beer after all. But I got an appropriate book and oh, yeah, my studio glasses. Look, my studio glasses. Yeah, I fixed them. Yes, okay, so I thought, you know what, I'll get my T.S. Eliot, a perfect book to take to read to the studio cat, right? And well, you know, I have bookmarked something that's not really for the cat, you know. But this is a compilation book that has, it has the poem that's the poem that inspired the book, that inspired the play Cats. It's in here, so it'd actually be pretty cool to find it and take it down to the studio cat that we're trying to rescue, the feral cat, and read it to him. You see, I'm one of those that believe you should talk to mammals just like they're normal people, like they're more among the normal population, or like they're a human, because they've got ears, they can hear you, they at least understand the emotion coming out of intonations when you speak to them, and they like to be spoken to. They speak to each other. They're social creatures. Mammals, they are. I mean, they're even the predatorial ones. They're very social, especially when you look at like wolves. That trope about lone wolves, well, I mean, they howl to each other even if they are alone to be reminded that they're not alone. And they're social creatures. And so I totally believe in talking to animals, talking to mammals and stuff, like as if they were friends. I think it's the best way to make friends with them. And yeah, like I said, this little kitten I'm trying to rescue, he's a bit of a little feral guy. So, you know, let's look through here for something cool for the kitty kitty. I know it's in here. I guess I can use a table with contents. The irony is, my bookmark, my Gandalf bookmark, it's like permanently set in this book to... Now, a lot of people like his, you know, his poetry about cats a lot, and hence, you know, it was so popular by T.S. Eliot that a musical was made or inspired by it. But it's not even close to my favorite poem, and I think his most impactful poem, and that's where I always have my bookmark permanently. The Hollow Men. I feel this poem every day when I'm at work. And unless I go to inspiring places like gardens and libraries and such, I feel this every day, everywhere I go outside of those places. You go to a grocery store, it's filled with hollow men. You go, you know, everywhere you can go, really. You run into people that fit this criteria. Yes, I want to find that poem for the kitty kitty, but I find myself... Oh, The Wasteland is another good favorite of mine, too. I should read a section out of it. The Burial of the Dead. April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain. Winter kept us warm, covering earth in forgetful snow, feeding a little life with dried tubers. Summer surprised us, coming over the stagnant Bergisi. With a shower of rain, we stopped in the colonnade and went on in sunlight into the Hofgarten and drank coffee and talked for an hour. Yeah. But it's not the cat one. I gotta find the cat one so I can read it to the cat one. Miss Nancy Ellicott strode across the hills and broke them. Rode across the hills and broke them. The barren New England hills, riding the hounds over the cow pasture. Miss Nancy Elliott smoked and danced all the modern dances, and her aunts were not quite sure how they felt about it, but they knew that it was modern. Oh yes, T.S. Eliot's one of my all-time favorites, but I have to admit I'm having a challenge focusing. I just need to wait a little bit longer. I guess I gotta quit being lazy. Collected poems from 1909 to 1935. Yes, here it is. The Naming of Cats. I'm going to go read this to the studio cat, the future studio cat, while I woo him into coming out of his feral existence and coming to join me on my studio adventures. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Yeah. 149. naming of cats. The naming of cats is a difficult matter. It isn't just one of your holiday games. You may think at first I'm as mad as a hatter when I tell you a cat must have 3 different names. First of all, there's a name that the family use daily, such as Peter, Augustus, Alonzo, or James, such as Victor or Jonathan, George or Bill Bailey. All of them sensible, everyday names. There are fancier names if you think they sound sweeter, some for the gentlemen and some for the dames, such as Plato, Admetus, Electra, and Demeter. But all of them sensible, everyday names. But I tell you, a cat needs a name that's particular, a name that's peculiar, and more dignified. Else how can he keep up his tail perpendicular, or spread out his whiskers, or cherish his pride? Of names of this kind I can give you a quorum, such as Munkenstrap, Quaxo, or Capocap, such as Bombalorina or Jelly Laurel, names that never belong to more than one cat. But above and beyond, there's still one name left over, and that is the name that you never will guess, a name that no human research can discover, but the cat himself knows and will never confess. When you notice a cat in profound meditation, the reason, I tell you, is always the same. His mind is engaged in rapt contemplation of the thought, of the thought, of the thought of his name. His ineffable, effable, ineffable, deep and inscrutable, singular name. uh, I love books, as you can tell, and that's a big part of Guardian and Grail. And once the time is past enough that I know my mom will be awake, we'll go and we'll visit with the studio cat and do a lot more like poetry, antics, and have the continuation of our adventure.
I tell you, next episode of Garden and Grail, there'll be a lot more adventure in it, but my current adventure is pain. But I'm authentic and I like to keep things honest, and I'm doing the very best I can to keep a schedule. I promised these every Monday, and I'm going to deliver no matter how much it hurts. And it hurt this week. You know, and it inspired me. There's another song brewing in my head. I've got many songs brewing in my head, but it's inspired some lyrics, you know, the idea that I'm here for the karma, I'm here for the karma, I'm here for the karma, I'm not a drama starter, I just want to do my dream and live my life okay, but there's people out here that are devils all the way, I'm here for the karma, I'm here for the karma, I'm here for the karma, and I want to see to pay. I'm here for the karma. I'm here for the karma. I want to see the liars burn in their own coffins. I don't know. I just got this random thing. I'm going to have to work on the lyrics of it. Waxing poetic in Garden and Grail is a part of it, and being philosophical. My whole life is about authenticity. Why? Because it weighs less than being fake, being a face dancer. Being authentic and honest is a proper path to live. You don't give negative repercussions usually unless you're surrounded by devils. And I am currently. It's just the way it is. I'm tougher than that, and I'm not a coward, so I'll just go right into it and face it. Don't mean to end things on a heavy note. I think I'm ending them on a positive note. Why? I got negative things in my life just like everybody else in life. But, you know, I'll transmute it into song, dance, animations. I'll be alright. You know? Next Garden Grail is going to be wonderful. It's going to be wonderful. I got some really cool things planned for it. And this time I'll have the off time to execute them. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day wherever they are. And I hope you manifest all the cool things you want for yourself. And don't go out there messing with other people's lives. Yo. It comes back on you. Truly does. All right. Peace. Speedy out.